Bullies humiliated a couple in front of their kids, not knowing they are former Secret Service agents. Ever wonder what happens when bullies pick on the wrong family? Well, you're about to find out. This is the story of John and Sarah, a couple who just wanted a peaceful vacation with their kids. Emily and Leo, they looked like any other family, trying to escape the daily grind and create some happy memories. But John and Sarah had a past they kept hidden, a past filled with skills most people only see in movies. They were former Secret Service agents, trained to handle threats with calm precision. They'd left that life behind for the quiet suburbs, believing their most dangerous days were over. They were wrong. Their relaxing day at a lakeside park was shattered by a group of loud, arrogant men. Let's call their leader Chad. Chad and his friends were the classic bullies, all muscle and ego, thinking their size gave them the right to ruin everyone else's day. They were blasting music, throwing their trash around, and generally making a nuisance of themselves. John and Sarah tried to ignore them, focusing on their kids who were happily building a sandcastle. They just wanted to avoid trouble, but trouble had a way of finding them. Started small. A stray frisbee accidentally landed right on the kids' sandcastle, flattening it. Leo's eyes welled up with tears. Chad and his buddies just laughed. John walked over, his voice calm but firm. "Hey guys, could you be a little more careful? My kids were playing here." Chad just smirked. "Oops, my bad. Guess your kids will have to learn that things get broken." The condescending tone was unmistakable. Sarah watched from the blanket, her body tensing. She recognized the look in Chad's as a predator, looking for a reaction. She whispered to John as he returned, "Let it go. They're just looking for a fight." But Chad wasn't done. He and his friends ambled over, beers in hand, and stood looming over the family. "Nice little setup you got here," Chad said, his eyes scanning their picnic basket. "You gonna share?" John stood up slowly, positioning himself between the men and his family. "We're not. I'm going to ask you one more time to please leave us alone." The air grew thick with tension. The other families in the park started to notice some moving away, others watching with a mix of fear and curiosity. Chad laughed, a harsh, grating sound. "Well, what's a little guy like you gonna do?" He then made his biggest mistake. He reached out and shoved John's shoulder. It wasn't a hard shove, but it was a clear act of aggression. In that instant, something shifted in John's eyes. The suburban dad vanished, and the trained agent took over. His movements were fluid, almost too fast to see. He sidestepped the shove, used Chad's own momentum against him, and in a single, practiced motion, had Chad's arm twisted behind his back, forcing him to his knees. Chad let out a yelp of pain and surprise. His friends were stunned for a second, then lunged forward. That's when Sarah moved. She was a blur of motion. One of the men swung a wild punch, but Sarah ducked under it effortlessly. She used a precise palm strike to a pressure point on his neck, and he crumpled to the ground, dazed but not seriously hurt. The third guy hesitated, seeing his two friends neutralized in seconds. He looked from John, who still had a whimpering Chad under control, to Sarah, who now stood in a ready stance, her eyes like ice. The bully suddenly realized he was completely outmatched. He backed away slowly, hands raised in surrender. The entire confrontation lasted less than 30 seconds. The park was silent, everyone staring in disbelief. John released Chad, who scrambled away, clutching his arm and muttering threats he had no intention of keeping. He and his friends gathered their things and practically ran from the park, their macho act completely shattered. They came looking for an easy target to intimidate, but instead they found two highly trained professionals who had simply wanted to enjoy a day with their children. John and Sarah quickly checked on their kids. Emily and Leo were wide-eyed but unharmed. "You guys superheroes?" Emily asked in awe. John smiled and ruffled her hair. "Something like that." But let's keep that our little secret, okay? He looked at Sarah, and they shared a look that said it all. They had left the world of danger behind, but they would never hesitate to use their skills to protect their family. This story isn't just about a satisfying takedown of bullies. It's a powerful reminder that you should never judge a book by its cover. The quietest person in the room might be the most capable. It teaches us that true strength isn't about being loud or aggressive. It's about having the quiet confidence to protect what matters most. John and Sarah didn't seek out a fight. They did everything they could to de-escalate the situation. But when their family was threatened, they acted decisively and effectively, not to show off, but to neutralize the threat and ensure their children's safety. Think about the bullies. Their confidence was built on a fragile foundation of intimidation. When faced with real strength and skill, their entire persona collapsed. It shows that bullying behavior often stems from deep-seated insecurity. They prey on those they perceive as weak because it makes them feel powerful. Okay, but when their bluff is called, they have nothing to back it up. Okay, so what can we all learn from this? First, always try to de-escalate. Violence should be the absolute last resort. John and Sarah gave the bullies multiple chances to walk away. Second, be aware of your surroundings and trust your instincts. Sarah sensed the danger long before it escalated. Okay? And third, know that true power lies in control and discipline, not in aggression. The way John and Sarah handled the situation was a masterclass in controlled response. They used just enough force to stop the threat and no more. This incredible event at the park serves as a lesson for everyone. For parents, it highlights the fierce instinct to protect our children. For kids, it shows that heroes don't always wear capes. Sometimes they're just moms and dads. And for anyone who has ever felt intimidated, it's a reminder that courage comes in many forms, and bullies are often not as strong as they appear. The family packed up their things, the mood a little shaken, but their bond stronger than ever. As they walked away, they left behind a group of humble bullies in a park full of spectators who had just witnessed that you should never, ever mess with a quiet family. Thank you so much for watching. What did you think of John and Sarah's reaction? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content just like this. We'll see you in the next video.